Hello. I did say on the last video that we had an unexpected milestone has turned up already in this channel, so we just wanted to do a really informal thing and talk about a few things to answer a couple of questions that people have had as well. But when you start doing something silly like a YouTube channel, you look things up in advance to see whether it's actually viable, whether it's ever going to take off, and people tell you work hard at it for a couple of years and maybe you'll get somewhere eventually. And so 2 months in, just over 2 months, and we've already hit the 1,000 subscribers mark, which is ridiculous. Thank you, everyone. And ridiculous numbers of comments and engagement as well, so it's absolutely wonderful. And the 1,000 subscribers is actually quite an important milestone because it means that I can actually start getting paid for the advertising that goes on them, which I have no control over. So we just wanted to sort of celebrate that slightly and also explain how we got to this point, because we're obviously academic paleontologists by background, and someone has asked us how we got into paleontology. So we thought we'd answer that one as well. How did we? Feels like a long time ago now.
Well, you started before I did, didn't you?
I suppose I did. I was probably about 5 then. Found my first little sort of shell in a rock somewhere in Hereford and asked my dad what it was, and he said, "Oh, that's a fossil, that is." He wasn't a yokel, but still. So I just got hooked from there basically, and then never took it seriously, because you don't. I mean, it's something you grow out of, isn't it? Once you get to teenage years. Allegedly. So some of us never do, and ended up going to university to do theoretical physics and cosmology because I thought you could actually have a career in that. That was a bit weird. Anyway, little did I know that there were paleontologists in such places who actually got paid to do it, and I very rapidly switched when I realised how hard the maths was. What about you then?
Well, I was always vaguely interested in fossils, but I grew up somewhere that is on metamorphic rock, which is not ideal if you want to find fossils because there aren't any. So I, like you, went to university. We in fact went to the same university, and I needed to do a certain number of subjects in my first year, and I didn't particularly want to do more chemistry, so I thought, I'll do a year of geology. That'll be interesting.
Little did you know.
That's what I know. And then I got into fossils, and I ended up being a paleontologist after several degrees.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a short version of the story. So we actually met in geology lectures as undergraduates.
He had a bit more hair on his head and a bit less on his chin in those days.
I,
of course, look exactly the same.
I actually just had my head on upside down. That was the only difference. But yeah. Anyway, so getting into paleontology as a career is not easy because you need to go through multiple stages. So there are very rare exceptions who don't do the degree route at all, but that takes a lot of doing. So normally you do an undergraduate degree, as we did, then secondary and tertiary degrees. So Lucy did a master's and then a PhD. I went straight into PhD, so didn't want to get bored. And then that makes you fully qualified.
And then you have to try to get a job, or more likely a succession of short-term jobs.
Yeah.
Many people end up moving to different countries for that bit, for part of all of the time. And if you're very lucky and skillful and good and lucky, you get a permanent job.
Yeah, but it can take 3 or 4 postdoctoral positions. So I had one in Cambridge for 4 years. Lucy went straight to work at the Natural History Museum.
Yes.
As a curator. My work in Cambridge ended because they're all short-term contracts. It was 4 years, so it was nice. So we ended up moving down to London.
That wasn't fun for us. We're not city people.
As you can probably guess, yeah, didn't like that. We actually moved in on the day of the London bombings as well, which doesn't help. But we, ever since then, we were trying to get out. Eventually, I got a job as curator in Leeds.
So we both moved to Yorkshire. So I didn't have a job for a while.
Yeah.
Then we got an offer we couldn't refuse, and both of us ended up doing postdocs in China for a couple of years, which was great.
And pure serendipity. I was at a conference, and a chap came up to me, and as I was looking at his poster, and had a couple of interesting questions, and sort of nodded sagely at it, and he said, "Do you want a job in China?" Okay. So we went to Nanjing for 2 years.
Yes.
And that was a bit of an upheaval. We'd never lived abroad before and had to get rid of most of our stuff because we couldn't afford to store it. And it was an incredible experience. And we've been going back to China pretty much ever since. Quite often for 3 months a year when we get fellowships to work on a particular research project, which I'll talk about at some point.
Oh yes, it's a good one.
Quite a lot.
It's got graptolites in it.
I knew you were going to say that.
And sponges.
It's got more species of sponges than graptolites.
But more individual graptolites than individual sponges.
Yeah, all right.
Not that we're trying to establish the superiority of one group of fossils over another, of course.
No, it's blatantly obvious that the sponges are superior. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yes, we are.
But after we came back from China, we thought, right, we'll walk into an academic job somewhere. We just published 20 papers in 2 years.
Which is a lot.
It's quite good going, that. And we didn't. So we decided to live somewhere, when we first arrived, somewhere cheap, somewhere that we liked, just for 6 months to tide us over.
Somewhere that we could collect more fossils.
It's really a fortunate side effect.
Yes.
So we came to my field area in mid-Wales.
And that was 13 years ago, pretty much, and we're still here.
Yeah, well, after about 6 months, we actually stopped applying for jobs because we just liked it so much that you end up with just finding somewhere that really feels like home. And with all the fossils on your doorstep, we decided we could just about try to make ends meet in different ways. So I ended up taking hobbies very seriously and working as an entomologist, doing insect surveys and things like that, and also playing the harp and doing folk singing. So that's another thing that I do as a sideline.
So we're not rich, it's fair to say.
Definitely not.
Which is how having a monetised YouTube channel could be quite useful for us.
Yeah.
But we have lots of time for research, which is what we really want to do, so that's us really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lucy's income and editing actually pays the bills quite nicely, just about.
We do it between us.
But yes, I used to also do lots of small-scale teaching, small groups, just 4 or 5 people in here actually, and just sort of courses introductory to geology and paleontology. And that sort of was scuppered with COVID and finding Castle Bank and then the place being taken over by rocks. But this is something I used to really miss because I enjoy teaching. I enjoy sort of sharing all the excitement of these things. And I'd never taken this seriously as a possibility of going out and doing things online. Not quite sure why.
But since YouTube exists for this very sort of thing.
And you seem to have found us. Well done, you.
Clearly, people of taste and discernment.
Absolutely. You can tell by looking at them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how we got into this, and we are still publishing papers, of course. We're still going to academic conferences, but only when we can afford them or we get a grant or something like that, which really doesn't happen. So it's a rare luxury for us nowadays. And normally we can combine it with a holiday. And but we can still do the things we want to. So we are separate from academia. We don't have the constraints that a lot of people have in terms of being told effectively what you need to research in order to get high impact papers and grant funding and all the rest of it. We have the freedom to publish low impact papers if we want to. We can do things that are unfashionable, and it's quite nice in a way. It means that we can actually work on what we want to and what we think is interesting.
It works with us.
Yeah. And because we're not sort of in a university with all its resources available to us at the drop of a hat, it does mean we get excited by little luxuries. Like, it's a special day as well because Lucy has got a parcel.
Which Joe has not let me open. He said, you have to do it on camera.
Well, these unboxing things are a big thing on YouTube, aren't they? Apparently.
All right, well, do I get to open it now?
You do. You
All
do.
right, can the camera actually see?
Oh, I shall move the camera.
I could just...
There we
Right.
go.
I very carefully cutting the sellotape.
Right then.
The box. Packing materials. Oh.
It seems to be a book.
It is a book. It it is the, read it out, the Treatise on Invertebrate Paleontology, Part V, Hemichordata, Second Revision, and this is basically a summary of graptolites. So what they are, their fossil record, how they live, their relatives.
Ow! More graptolites in the house.
Yes,
You actually look quite happy at that.
yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've got most of the separate chapters, but they're as PDFs. It's just so much easier sometimes to be able to flick through a book.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, lovely. I'll just put the camera back down again. Oh, I've no idea if anyone would be interested, but we could give you a tour of the library at some point, because we do have a bit of a liking for old books. So we have things like old monographs, Challenger Expedition, that sort of stuff, as well as more modern things. She has lots and lots of graptolites.
This is great. Yes. Oh,
It
yeah.
is a summary, the treatise, in the volumes covering pretty much everything, of every genus of graptolite that has been described up to that point.
Yes.
And the description of where it's found, how you recognise it, and it's an extremely useful book. We've got various editions of them.
I may or may not be looking at the reference list to see if I'm cited.
This is going to be embarrassing if she's not. I apologise in advance for the histrionics and the tantrum.
Yep, 4 of mine.
4?
That'll do. That'll do.
Okay, that's
Yep.
not bad, is it?
I'm quite
Right,
happy with
anyway.
that. Right, so I will. That's my bedtime reading sorted out.
Yes. Yeah, so as regards how this channel's going, obviously Lucy's making appearances fairly regularly now. We seem to be falling into several different types of video, which is great. So there's the sort of exploration ones where we find something new and try to interpret it and discuss it. And then there's also the more lecture type things where we go, I give you a sort of deep dive into one aspect or another, particularly around early animal evolution. There's little paper reports, there's a few of those in the queue now for me to do. And yeah, they seem to be popular with people in different ways. So I'll just keep going and see how it works, really. And it may be that some end up being less popular than others and I do fewer of them, but at the moment I'm going to carry on with all the different things we're doing. And Lucy's a bit distracted now. Yeah.
Tell you what, if you request more graptolite videos, you'll probably do more graptolites.
No. You know the answer is sponges. Yes? Good. Oh well. Anyway, that's probably about do it for now. I'll go and work on something sensible in a minute. In that case, farewell, and see you on the comments.